So hello and welcome to this Astranti Financial Training bite-sized video, and this video is going to be a great interest to you if you are planning to sit your E1 exam anytime soon, because what this brief video is going to do is give you a nice little introduction to the concept of the finance function, because if you've got a good understanding of what the finance function is, you are sure to do well in your E1 exam. So sit back, watch this 7 or 8 minutes of this bite-sized video to get a really good understanding of the finance function. And really, if we're going to talk about the finance function, we're going to go from a simple statement that surely we can all agree that all companies need finance to be able to operate. And it's that capital, it's that finance that enables businesses and companies to invest, to employ staff, and to purchase goods and purchase supplies and be able to turn those into assets. But who is responsible in organizations for the stewardship of the financial resources? Who is responsible for interpreting and reporting the financial position? Who collates and provides information for internal management? Who is responsible for budgeting, forecasting, and cost control? Well, it should be of no surprise after the introduction when I told you what this video is all about, that it's the finance function that is responsible for all of these activities and tasks, because the finance function is the part of the organization which controls and manages anything that's related to finance. And there are 5 key activities that the finance function is responsible for. So let's bring them up now in a diagram. We've got our finance function here, and the first one we're going to bring up is accounting. Now, we're going to go into accounting in a bit more detail when we talk about components, but we've got financial accounting and management accounting as part of the 5 key activities. It's also responsible for analysis, so analyzing data to help support decision making in the organization. It's also responsible for planning, and now planning may relate to the finance function helping the organization budget or forecast, or it may relate to the finance function helping a department in the organization budget and forecast. Decision making may mean that the finance function is providing insights based on data it is collated to decision makers to help them plan strategies or targets. And finally, control may relate to a wide variety of things, from cost control, trying to help the organization keep costs low, to risk control, making sure there are controls in place so that the organization is able to mitigate as many risks as possible. But what we're going to move on to now, so they're the broader activities of the finance function. We're going to start looking at these in slightly more detail when we look at the organization's contributions. So let's zoom in here, and the first one we're going to bring up is stewardship. And stewardship is all about the finance function looking after the financial resources within the organization on behalf of the organization. They are taking control of them and making sure everything's okay with it. The next one is interpreting and reporting the financial position of the organization and presenting that through reports to the external stakeholders, so that the external stakeholders can be kept informed of the fair and true position of the organization. Now, I don't know in what order you're watching these videos or whether you've read the study text, but the external stakeholders are the stakeholders not involved so closely with the organization. So for an example, an external stakeholder here may be an investor, someone looking to invest in the organization, and so of course they want to see fair and true reports of the financial position of the organization so they can make an honest judgment about whether to invest. So the next contribution is collating and providing information. Now you may think this is similar to interpreting and reporting, but the difference between these two is interpreting and reporting was reporting to external stakeholders, whereas the finance function also collate and provide information to internal stakeholders, and more specifically the internal management. Now this helps the management then make business decisions. So for example, this might be the finance function collecting together information from across different geographical divisions between one organization and then producing one report so the internal management know what's happening in the different geographical divisions. The next contribution is budgeting and forecasting. Now, I already touched on this when we mentioned the activities, when we talked about planning, because the budgeting and forecasting helps with business planning. So by helping budget, an organization knows the resources it's going to have to work with, and forecasting, it can help predict the forecasted revenues, for example, and so that helps an organization again with its decision making. Now, the penultimate contribution is business partnering. Now, the term partnering basically means that the finance function is a partner to different departments around the organization. And it's a partner because it helps the departments by giving them financial advice and support as well as guidance so that the departments know how to deal with variances identified in their specific business areas. And we're going to keep on the topic of variance for our final contribution, because the finance function also carries out variance analysis and cost control. Now, for those of you that have done your certificate level, I'm sure you'll all remember that variance analysis compares the budget for the organization or the department with the actual results. And so what the finance function does is carry out this variance analysis to help keep costs down. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching this bite-sized video today. Hopefully you found it really useful. And if you want to learn more about the contributions and the finance function, be sure to check out our full-length videos available on the Astranti website. Or if you just want to keep on getting these bite-sized videos, be sure to like this video or subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for listening today, and good luck with your revision.